Eighth letter. What does it mean to understand something? In this letter, I want to talk about what it means to know and understand the purpose of learning. In my case, I learned it gradually while learning math. So, I have no choice but to talk about math. It may be boring, but I still think it's an important story to share. As a high school student, I always solved math problems the same way. When I saw the problem, I tried to figure out which formula to use. Then I applied the formula to the problem. The answer came like magic. Many of the math tests I remember were like this, and most problems could be solved by memorizing formulas and problem types. After solving many problems, I figured out most of them, so I was generally able to get good grades. I believed I was good at math because it wasn't that hard to find answers to school math problems. I was in engineering school, so I had to constantly solve more complex mathematical calculations. So I never once thought that I wasn't good at math. Then I found myself in a situation where I had to teach high school math to someone. I thought I knew all about the subject for a long time, but at the time, I was so amazed that I couldn't even answer a simple question. That simple question was, what is calculus? It was a natural question for a new learner. I still knew how to solve differential equations, but I didn't ask what they were, how they could be used, and why I should study them. I was proud of my high school math knowledge, but I realized I was wrong at that moment. From the teacher's point of view, I was so embarrassed that I could not answer, so I promised to explain it later. I realized that I couldn't teach others without fully understanding the concepts. So, I tried to understand the basic concepts in detail. However, many questions continue to arise when trying to understand the concept of calculus. I believe that learning should entail understanding what I did not know before. I should have thought like this in my school class as well. However, I couldn't understand the essence of learning because I only focused on good grades. What I get may vary depending on the goal I choose. Therefore, if studying is to understand what I don't know, I think I should study differently. What does it mean to know something? I believed I knew differential equations. But if somebody asked me about differential equations, I couldn't explain. If I couldn't explain it to someone else, did I truly know? Just because you take a few guitar lessons doesn't mean you'll be able to play the guitar well. You'll need a lot of time to practice. It's the same with studying. I don't think I can understand complicated things simultaneously. At the same time, calculus includes various fields such as the concept of calculus, proof of calculus, formulas for calculus, partial calculus, the meaning of calculus, and the meaning of calculus in physics. In fact, to know calculus, I need to know the various subfields of calculus together. Perhaps I only know how to solve high school level differential equations. It was only a tiny fraction of the field of calculus. But I think I misunderstood that little part as the whole. After realizing this, it became difficult for me to say I knew something. So before saying anything, I tried to figure out whether I could explain it to others, or had to narrow it down to a specific portion of what I knew. How can I understand the principles and concepts of anything? I don't think the method I used works for everyone. Also, I think there may be a better way. But since I only know of this way, I want to give at least that much. I thought I was good at math because I never asked myself questions about it. If I want to know a topic in depth, I must keep asking and answering. But I don't even know that I don't know because I don't ask anything. So I deceive myself into thinking that I know something. This way, people can quickly become arrogant. It reminds me of a book called The Apology of Socrates. In the book, Socrates persistently asks the eminent general what courage is. In the beginning, the general shares his thoughts. Socrates finds a contradiction in those words and asks the same question again. If you keep talking like this, you will easily find parts that contradict what the speaker thinks or parts that they are unfamiliar with. However, most people find it difficult to accept their own shortcomings. Of course, the general was furious with Socrates. It went similarly when I was learning the concept of calculus. First of all, My interest was not in the entire field of calculus. Instead, it was about the concept and meaning of calculus and how to use it. Since I didn't have to reinvent the wheel, I started looking for a reputable book on calculus. As for the concept of calculus, many brilliant mathematicians have already written about it. The problem was that I had to read many books, which were still difficult to understand. Various answers can be found in various books. The derivative is an instantaneous rate of change, the slope of a tangent, the limit of the average rate of change. They are all explanations of differential equations. I was more confused because I couldn't believe they explained the same thing. These explanations sounded different because I didn't understand them properly. As mentioned above, taking guitar lessons doesn't mean you'll be able to play the guitar immediately. I can only play 1 or 2 songs by practicing the guitar every day for a long time. So I'm ready to take the time to fully understand it. As I search for answers to small parts, other, more detailed questions keep coming up. If you keep looking and finding answers to your questions this way, you will find almost all reasonable answers one day. Then you can see the overall outline later. If someone else asks a creative question that I can't even imagine, I might not know about it. That is, I only know within the scope of my own questions. Therefore, good questions are crucial. The question and the answer are interconnected. I believe that if I keep following the question, I will eventually find the answer. So I want you to constantly ask whether you truly know something. And if there is something you want to know, I hope you find your own answer, rather than just accepting other people's opinions. In this way, both a critical point of view and one's own opinion can be formed. See you next time. Love you.